Although Africans have always believed in an ultimate deity or God, and we have traditionally lived spiritual lives, the reality is that we don't own the main religions currently being practiced in the continent. This video is about how we can go about owning these religions. If this is the first time you are tuning into my channel, you are welcome. My name is Emmanuel Chirunda, and every Saturday I bring you a video aimed at changing our African mindsets. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that you are notified in the future every time I release a video. Without wasting time, let's get started. In my first year of university in the US, during a course about engineering professional ethics, the professor mentioned the Bible and God, and a classmate of mine who was sitting next to me leaned over and asked, "What is God?" I looked at him and I was like, "Are you for real? You don't know what God is?" Well, later on after the class, I chatted with this chap and found out because he was coming from the country of Burma or Myanmar, and because in his Buddhist religion there is no concept of a God, he even had never heard of the book called the Bible. In fact, he was quite amused when I told him some of the biblical stories. I'm telling this story to contrast it with the reality in Africa. Talk to any person in Africa, even those who have never been influenced by foreign religions or gone to school, and they will naturally tell you about God as the ultimate creator of man and everything in the universe. So, how does the whole subject of us Africans not owning religion come about? This is how. If in my tribal language I ask the question, "What is your religion?" for at least 9 out of 10 people, the answer will be Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, not any of the traditional tribal belief systems. This is the case because the word for religion in my language and also in many other Ugandan languages is the Arabic word for religion, dini. Since the Arabs were the first foreigners to bring a foreign religion, Islam, to Uganda in the 1840s, and they termed it as a dini, by the time the British and French brought Christianity 20 years later, our languages had already incorporated the word dini to mean foreign-induced faith systems like Islam and Christianity, not our tribal beliefs. I know there are some of you who will want to say that Africans had religions before the Arabs and Europeans came. Maybe you're right. It's just that the average person is able to differentiate that our tribal belief systems are cultural or spiritual belief systems, but not dinis or religions. I have heard many people say something like this: "I don't believe in these foreign religions. Instead, I believe in my traditional spirituality." So, people can differentiate belief in God from religion. And it is fitting that you and I do the same. Therefore, when I say we Africans don't own the religions we associate with, it's because the overwhelming majority of us will define religion as the foreign-induced beliefs. And it just so happens that the Arabs and Europeans who introduced these major religions still have control and ownership over them. If you think this foreign ownership is no big deal because religions are supposed to be universal, that is your opinion. Other Africans strongly feel that Islam and Christianity have been tools of foreign dominance And until we own them or disown them, we cannot be free in the spiritual and religious space. For these Africans, I have 3 suggestions on how we can own the religions we associate with. I'll discuss Christianity because it is the religion I'm intimate about, and also it's the biggest religion in my part of Africa. The first suggestion is that we need to own parts of the biblical narrative. The Bible was written by people over thousands of years, and some of these people and the stories they told were African. For example, in the first book, Genesis, we read that the Nile River was one of the rivers flowing into the Garden of Eden. We read that Moses, the greatest prophet in the Bible, was born in Egypt, and his wife was a Nubian from what we call Sudan. And Jacob and his 12 sons, who are the founders of Israel, were generously hosted in Africa for many centuries. In Isaiah and Kings, we read about several occasions in which Nubian kings came to the rescue of the kingdom of Israel when it was attacked by its enemies. In the New Testament, we read that baby Jesus and his mother found refuge in Africa and spent maybe up to 12 years living there. We also read that Simon from Libya was the person who carried Jesus' cross up to Golgotha, and the first gospel was written by Mark, who was also from Egypt. He was from Libya. There is so much about the major Bible stories that are associated with Africa. We should own that. Secondly, Africa should claim credit for the creation of the Christian religion. As everyone knows, Jesus Christ did not create Christianity. Instead, it was men like Paul and the disciples who started the religion. Thereafter, many North Africans played the pivotal role in maturing and defining the actual doctrine. Saint Augustine of Algeria is considered second only to Paul in creating Christianity. Saint Athanasius of Alexandria was very crucial in defining the Trinity as we know it today, and is considered the father of the Christian Bible because he was the first to agree on the 66 books of the Common Bible. Other North Africans such as Origen, Clement of Alexandria, Tertullian, Plotinus, Anthony the Great, and many others were giants of early Christianity, to the point that many of them are referred to as fathers or doctors of the church. We can't forget the thousands of Egyptians who were martyred in the early years of Christianity because they were the first to believe in the good news that just as the ultimate God can become a burning bush and communicate to Moses, he can also become man to be relatable. Christianity, just like any other religion, is man-made and it is still evolving. However, just as those early North Africans played a pivotal role in defining the religion, you as a modern African can also proactively contribute to the religion as opposed to merely following tradition. Third, we should reject the colonial versions of Christianity and some biblical narratives. It is no small detail that Mark not only wrote the first gospel, but also founded the first church in Africa, the Church of Alexandria, almost 1,000 years before the English, French, German, and other colonialists were Christians. If the Church of Alexandria, which is now called the Coptic Church, had exported Christianity to the rest of Africa, there would be no need to say that Christianity is a colonial religion. However, if you read the history of the Bible and Christianity with critical eyes, there is enough African legacy for any African Christian to own. In summary, We should not blindly believe any religion just because we were born in a certain family. We African elites must individually use our critical thinking skills to understand how any religion has relevance to the continent. If it has no relevance to the land or the people of Africa, we should have the courage to doubt or reject it. How else do you think we can own the religions in Africa? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and see you next Saturday.